I love this. New York and California in one room. This is amazing. It's like left brain, right brain. You know, they have what we want or what we need, and we have what they need. It's crazy. Being and doing, you know. Like California dream pioneers are always like, oh, they're being. And here they're like, when's the next one? Da, da, da. It's like a little more like action-packed, but it's awesome. This is the beauty of New York and California. It's like an open discussion. I will be speaking about it and giving insights. Our journey of exploration, our own unique journey of exploration through this multidimensional manifestation. And as I wrote in the top, I don't know if you can see, there is no right or wrong, and we are all having individual journeys, and we all have our own unique ideas, and we all create our own experience. So respectfully, we can all have our differences and nobody is right or wrong. So we've come together in this space to share and inspire one another on our own exploration within this multidimensional reality. And the whole point of this gathering is to start tuning into yourself. What you feel is your point of authenticity, your inner knowing. I like everybody to know what's in everybody's mind. What comes to mind when you hear the word multidimensional? And remember, there's no right or wrong, just what comes to your mind. What do you think of the word multidimensional? Thomas says reality exists on multi-levels. And Rachelina says beyond the 3 acknowledged dimensions. Paul says nothing comes to mind for me. And Bulletin says too many things. True. An attempt to separate all that is into layers. That's great. Souza says the many different realities happening at the same time or in different time patterns. The word multidimensional. So when I hear multidimensional, I get a feeling of perception, different shifts in consciousness. So I know a lot of people, they talk about the first dimensional, third dimensional bodies going into a fifth dimensional. And that for me is hard to think in those terms. I understand it, I accept it, I process it, but through my sifter, it comes out as thoughts and emotions and vibrations and frequencies that I'm tuning into, but without the numbers. The reason why I say without the numbers is because you could be what people call like a super highly enlightened being in the terms of when you're doing your hobby, but your job is not so, you know, within our life, I guess we have these different frequencies. Some of them ground us, some of them elevate us, some aspects of our life even within themselves are multidimensional, I guess. This is a very important subject, and the reason why I said it was a priority on the video where I summarized what this was going to be about is because that this is a time when if you're not trying to tune into your authentic self, into the dreamer that is connected to the authentic self, or whatever you want to call it. I like to call it a dreamer because for me the dream is direct access to what's inside of you. So if we're not doing that, then life does it for you. It has been priority number 1 to help people tap into what it is that is their highest self, representation of themselves, to come out and to peel all the layers so that you can start to live in tune with the authentic self, so you can start living the life that you dream, not in the sense of you know, what you think, because a lot of times we think we have a lot of false cravings, and you won't know until you try it what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So it's good to just try everything anyway, and especially within this new kind of reality where we're opening up to these portals of multidimensional realities and bridging them into the waking reality. The waking reality is one of the most important dimensions. And a lot of people live in the future, or they live in the past, or they live within their expectation of what they think is a fantasy. You know, like, oh, someday someone will discover me, or one day I'll wake up into multidimensional perspective, or I'll find that perfect teacher that's gonna show me the way to enlightenment. And because you're really limiting yourself to the kind of person that won't be the one to evolve out of that, because the truth is you are the answer. You have the answers. You are the key. You are all of those things, and you're here and now. Your waking reality is the key, is the answer, and this is the most important dimension that you are in. What is Dream Pioneers about? It's about dissolving all of the illusions that what is around you is a solid thing that you can't control, and wake up to the reality that you are interacting with it. Your multidimensional awareness, your highest frequencies, they're not just sitting there like statues or cloud concepts. They're actually trying to communicate with you all the time. But are you open enough to see that? Have you practiced viewing it like it's interacting with you? Have you practiced dissolving all the labels around you and creating a new belief that says that you are open to the interaction, that you understand the intelligence of the energy around you? So number one, I would say, is create a new belief starting now. And this is for your own unique journey, for your exploration, because nobody is going to have your experience. Only you are going to have your experience. I'm not going to have your experience. You're not going to have my experience. Start from there. And now, number two, you have an authentic self. And if you don't know what is in tune, or what is that even mean, then by all means, I would really start creating a belief that you're supposed to live authentically. So with just that thought as a seed, just let it ripple out into whatever you want. Start, for me, it's like when you imagine yourself like in a daydream, like in your highest vision, like when you're really tuning into, wow, yeah, I'd love to do that. That's amazing. When you imagine yourself, kicking ass in the world or whatever, in your arena, whatever you imagine, then that is when I would tell you that is a big fat arrow towards your authentic self. And it doesn't mean that you should, well, I don't know. You can do whatever you want. Some people like to turn the tables and start like from scratch, and some people like to fade into things. Yeah, for some people love to tune into other people. It's like the collective consciousness, and also in nature, when you tune in with nature, it doesn't matter what is your path. Mine is dreams and dimensions, but for some people it's music. For some people it's art. For some people there are many ways to get to your authentic self. Bulletin asks, can you explain what you mean by creating a belief? I mean, begin to play around with the notion that something is possible that you thought was probably impossible or not within your realm of things. So you start getting an idea of what is your dream. When you imagine yourself doing something that you would love, you have to start imagining that it's possible. And that starts to, snowball. Because once that opens the door. Sometimes it's like a boom, And sometimes it's a slower process because we have many blocks and many like mind blocks that we have to go through. But it doesn't matter, it's worth the work. Or that's another thing. It's not that hard of a work either. A lot of times we are meant to, everybody thinks it's supposed to be hard and it's hard work and it's difficult, but try practicing this belief that it's easy. that it's going to be simple, that you're going to be lighter, and that it's just going to flow. So that's a belief that even I'm working on, you know. Jamie says belief is a thought we keep repeating. Dimensions and multi-dimensions. Well, let me give you a little background. I astral project since I was 5. And in my dreams, I get a lot of visits from people who are in the waking reality, but their dreaming selves project to me and with something that they need. Now, why are their dream personas projecting to me was my question. And that's how this all began, because what was projecting to me was the dreamer that was frustrated because the person is not listening to them. So the dreamer just wants to be heard, and I've said this many times, the dreamer wants to be heard, and it shouldn't be coming to me. It should be, you know, you should be listening to it because it's always trying to communicate with you. Now there are many, many ways for this to communicate. What does it mean to dissolve the solid reality? What do you think that means, to dissolve the solidity around you? Thomas says to shift awareness away from the outside world and go within. Souza says dissolve your permanent belief system that is the illusion. Bulletin says I have no idea. Richelinia says transcend material reality. And Paul says to become aware of what does not work and find new things that do. You see, I wouldn't have answered those things. This is my point. Nobody is going to think about these things like you would. And this is the big fat clue here. That is what resonates with you when you think about dissolving. For me, it's about dissolving labels and starting to describe things with my own perception, like I'm doing right now, where I'm asking you, what do you think when you hear something? And then like this, you have to treat everything around you. If you're walking down the street, you know, what do you think of that street? What do you think of that lady that just passed by? Without the labels of it's a lady or it's a street. Describe your waking reality like if you were describing your perception of it. And this is how you begin to discover your unique I. And the the fun and magical part of this is that as soon as you remove all those labels and you begin to describe how you would get an idea of what's out there, synchronicity begins to happen. Like just boom, suddenly you think, oh, this lady reminds me of that circus person I saw when I was younger. And then you turn around and there's a clown, and then you turn around and there's a whole like parade going on, and then all these things begin to unfold, and that's when you know that that's the moment of communication from the energy around you. That's like a big hooray, she woke up to her own I, and or to his own I. Finally the world can interact with you. Finally the dimensions that were searching for you can start to appear. So and then it gets bold. The universe is bold, and when you play bold, it plays bold back. So I went to a lake house a few months ago, and I saw my friend, a very good friend of like 10 years, and I remember 10 years, like 5 years ago maybe, he got a tattoo of like a guitar here, a guitar head or something. It was small. And when I saw him at the lake house, he had one tattoo, but it was like this huge guitar head here, and even on the other side. And I remember looking at my husband and thinking, whoa, that is crazy, because that tattoo was somewhere else and it was smaller, and I know this guy for years and I've seen it many times, and it even made an impression on me the first time I saw it. But so when I saw this different tattoo, I was like, what universe am I in? You know, like I felt like I had literally woken up to the idea that we can shift through multiple universes, through multiple parallel realities. And yeah, I had heard that concept, but I had never experienced it in this way where I knew what I had seen, because I have very good memory. I have almost photographic memory. So this was a big like slap in the face. Like, yeah, it was like a shift. And like this, I started catching small things. It started with small things like I would wear red socks and then I would come home and they were black. And I was like, no, I'm not crazy, because I remember when I was putting them on. I remember, I'm not like a person who is distracted when I get dressed. I'm very picky. I wear mainly black. So I was wearing red socks. And then I wasn't. So little things like this began to happen, and I really began to realize that the more I opened up to what is possible, now, what is possible and what is impossible in my belief system, and I began to break those down, and I began to imagine that anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. I began to really play with that idea, and not only that, I began to detach from my waking reality things as things, and I began to discover my I began to describe things to myself. I began to narrate my own life, and I realized that what I thought of things was very different from what everybody thought of things, and I'm sure what you think of things are very different from what I think of things. But the whole point is that you need to weave your way back into yourself, because your authenticity is there, but it's not explored. So you need to explore that, dissolve, and explore your I. And also play with the idea that the universe is playing with you, and that their intelligent energy around you is wanting to interact with you. The dreamer is wanting to interact with you. It's trying to give you, the dream is like a big arrow towards yourself, because it's like the language of your soul or your authentic self. So dreams, if you don't dream, I suggest the waking dream, which is what I just talked about, which is describing everything as a dream. Play with your waking reality, play with your nighttime. My biggest message is to be here now. And I know that it's so exciting to think of multidimensional realities. And yes, they're out there. I'm a big astral projector, and I have had so many experiences, but none like I'm having now. Why? Because my goal is now to become whole here as Jennifer. Not even that attached to my personality. Even that is broadening. But as me, as a human being, I guess you could call it. A human being that can have a magical experience, which is my new belief. Instead of wanting all these fantastic Lemurian, Atlantean, I don't know, experiences, yeah, be open to them, but first accept where you are. And from that point on, get to know yourself. Get to know your I. And then from that point on, listen to your dreams, listen to the signs around you, listen to the energy, listen to your intuition towards your authentic self. Start trying things out, because you will never know what you are unless you peel the layers of what you're not. So that's another thing. Does that mean I have to stop smoking weed? I don't know. You know what? Some people smoke weed and don't dream, and then when they stop smoking they dream. So depends. This is what I mean by there are many channels. If dreaming is the channel you want to choose, at dreaming at night, I mean, then I would say, yeah, you have to stop smoking weed to dream. But if you choose something else, if you smoke and dream, that's cool. That's awesome. Usually I hear people that smoke and can't dream, which is funny. Well, if you smoke and dream, then there's no problems. You can use dreams if you want as a channel. That's not a problem at all. I like to shift aware, 100% aware and awake. Souza says, I've been practicing awareness and manifesting a new awakeness, and things have been happening. Yeah, practice awareness. That's a great way to put it. Bulletin says, oh God, no, don't try real drugs. Yeah, no. I mean, to each their own. People go on ayahuasca ceremonies and have the most eye-opening experiences, but I feel like every drug is sacred and you shouldn't abuse it. In general, it should be like with an intention, but that's my belief. Like, don't listen to me. You have your own belief and what works for you. So that is up to you and your reality. Mastering your waking reality is the message that I've been saying so far. That's this dimension. This is what I'm talking about. This dimension. Mastering your waking reality. Remember that. Master your waking reality. And now start looking for your authentic self, for the universe that is talking to you, for the energy that is trying to communicate with you, for the dreamer that is trying to communicate with you. It's almost like you're what do you call it? The person that solves mysteries, a detective. It's almost like you become a detective of your own real self, of your soul, and you really start looking, and not like a paranoid person looking, but like what catches my attention right now, and it'll be like, I don't even know how to explain it, but the string of coincidences begin to happen when you let go. First of all, you're letting go of who you are. Forget who you are for a moment when you're doing these things and start really imagining that the real you is out there. Or in there, they're both, because the outward is your inward manifestation. So the real you is somewhere out there. And where is it? And what do you think of this when you're not thinking, or maybe, as yourself and a little more, what do you think of that? Oh, look what's happening to my right, and look what's happening to my left. I once started doing this, and what happened was that I saw a woman with a upside down baby, like a baby boy upside down. Big woman with a baby boy upside down. And I thought, was narrating to myself, and there goes this, a woman, a pretty large and tall woman with a little baby boy holding him upside down. And then a block later, there was a woman holding a little older boy upside down. And then in the restaurant, there was a woman holding her little boy upside down. So this was like a big hello McFly from the universe, I think. And then how do you interpret that? And that's a different story. Because as you're narrating your waking reality, you're interpreting it symbolically. Because sometimes it's not that literal. Like, sometimes you'll see a sign that says, don't go there, like literally. But sometimes it's just symbolic. Like I told you, the woman with the upside down boy. Like, what, how can I interpret that, And I started really, I even asked my friends, because I like to also have my thoughts, but input of other people can also sometimes make you open up to new ideas, or make you know that, no, it's not that. Yes, Richelina says focus on your breath, and your thoughts interrupt as soon as you notice, go back to the breath. Right. See, that's for me, it's more like focusing on things in a detached way. And yeah, at some point you zen out and it's just you without your personality. But to get there, you have to sometimes do things, that will click you in. And some people can't just, boom, start thinking, okay, I won't have thoughts and I'm just going to breathe, like my husband, for example, he can do that. He has the ability to just stop anywhere and, he starts doing these double breaths and meditation. And for me, it's like I first have to look at a flower maybe and just follow whatever trail of thought I have about it. And then soon I'm tuned in to something else. Bulletin asks, does burning sage help get into a meditative state? Well, it depends. Some people love sage. And for me, sage really does clear energy. So if I'm trying to ground into some kind of reality, it doesn't work. For me, it disperses me a little too much. Like rain. Rain does that for some reason. I don't know. But see, these are things that you have to discover yourself. Does burning sage help get into... Well, try it. How are you going to know? I can't tell you if sage helps, because that's my experience. Maybe it does and maybe it doesn't. And maybe if I tell you it didn't help me, you won't try it, and then you're missing out on what could work for you. Suri says love. Yes. love, thinking of the things that you love, thinking of yourself in the highest daydream that you can imagine, something that you would love to do, you know, like I don't know, whatever it is, being on stage, or having some spiritual trip or journey, or creating a song. I don't know, whatever it is that you imagine, it's true. It will tune into love. It will tune in something you love. Rechelina says different things work for different people. Everyone's way to meditation is unique. Exactly. Watch a flame, observe the breath, repeat a mantra. So many ways, find the one for you. Yes, exactly. So I could give you my opinion of sage or my opinion of breath work, but it's not going to be your experience. And that is very important, especially now that we're all seeking. You're going to find, and you know what, I try everything, you know. If I'm really looking for something, I'll try this, I'll try that. And I realize, you know, this doesn't work for me, that doesn't work for me. What does work for me? And it always goes back to dreams. And not just dreams at night, but dreams in the waking reality. I am a natural dreamer. There's nothing that I have to do to dream. It just, you know, I dream a gazillion times a night, and I have these mysterious, mystical experiences in my dreams. And then when I wake up, all these coincidences from my dreams continue into my waking reality, you know? And they get more and more psychic because I pay attention to what I'm naturally good at. I pay attention to my passions. So the passions enhance. And not only that, they become bold, and they start teaching, like they start really guiding you. So Bulletin says, I have a long way to go. No, you don't have a long way to go. If you're comparing yourself with somebody, yeah, you probably, you know, maybe I have a long way to go if I'm comparing myself to like somebody else, but you're going to have your own journey, you know, and it's going to be just as beautiful and meaningful. And you're here right now. That means you're interested in your unique journey. You're interested in exploring. So start exploring. You know, this is part 1 of your, or part 10 of your exploration. I'm not sure, you know, maybe you want to try out meditation places, or maybe you want to go camping or to retreats, you know, like try whatever you start feeling the calling for. Like, and even if you normally don't do something, or you always do things with other people, or I don't know, try just being a little more adventurous with what you want to explore, you know. Souza says, I try to practice subtlety and in between space while in waking reality. Suri says, as long as the efforts are continuous, of course, as long as your efforts are continuous, that's, you know, that's big truth right there. You have to keep going towards your highest excitement, towards your joy. Whenever I'm in a funk of some sort, you know, I start looking through YouTube, and I'll go to these UFO channels. And it's like my dirty little secret is I love UFO stuff. And since I was a teenager, and even though it's not something I naturally can tune into, I have a lot of dreams with extraterrestrials and UFOs, but it's not like the main research that I do. It's it always goes back to dreams, because guess what? In a dream, you can interact with all kinds of beings, even star beings. It's kind of like the dream and the astral realms are like a place where all these multidimensional beings interact. Even people from the other side, people who have passed on. You know, how many experiences have I had with my grandmas who have passed, with people who have passed? It's just amazing. And they tell me legitimate things of the waking reality. Like, they'll actually give me details that I can verify. So it's just really crazy. And my astral projections, people in my waking reality have seen me when I astral project, especially in the morning when their perception is still, you know, when they're still landing. Because you know what? Guess what? You astral project. You just don't remember. You dream. You just don't remember. And if you do, awesome, you know. But if it's not your natural thing and you have an interest, I would say still explore it. Dreams are very important and should always be explored. You know, get a dream journal. What is a dream journal? I'll show you what a dream journal is. A dream journal is a place, it's a symbol, it's an energy. It's a symbol that says, I'm going to take my dreams seriously. I'm going to take, dreams are going to reveal themselves to me. And I'm going to write them down here. It's like you're telling your subconscious mind, it's important to me. And guess what? The subconscious mind listens. And so do dreams. It's an energy. Dreams are alive, manifesting energy. It is not just thoughts from the nighttime. I know there are dreams that make it seem like that, but it's been like my experience, at least through like my very expanded perception of what dreams can do, that they are alive. It's like your soul is alive and it's trying to give you a message symbolically, because your soul speaks a symbolic language. It's like before words were invented, there was like crashing waves of images flowing in and out. You know, it's different. I don't even want to go there because it's a very abstract notion and I might confuse you, but yeah, language, the ancient language of dreamers, the ancient language of dreams is beyond words. And to start thinking symbolically by first starting to interpret your waking reality like if it was a dream, you're training yourself to think symbolically and poetically. And then you're going to understand your dream better. And Aboriginal Native peoples, yes, of course. You know, dreamers were held in high regard. They were the front runners of a community. You know, communities would make all their decisions according to the dreamers and the dreams that were happening within the community. Now, what would happen if we all shared our dreams? Is my sister and I started having parallel dreams, and her dreams were more psychic and direct, and mine were more symbolic and astral. But guess what? They had the same theme. And it was amazing. I had friends that we would wake up every morning and tell each other our dreams. And sooner or later, it started aligning in a very interesting but different way, because everybody dreams differently. Thank you, Beatrix. Don't hide your nightmares. Don't just be like, oh, that was a horrible dream. I don't want to think about it. Maybe for a day, you know, you want to let that feeling go away. But then you have to lose your personality about it. You have to lose the fact that it even feels weird, and there's a jewel in there, there's a diamond in there. You have to take a look at it, especially if it's recurring. Take a good look at it and try to interpret it symbolically. And usually in dreams, it's not about the person in your dreams. It's about the description of the person in your dreams. It's about what you think of that person. So let's say okay, I'm gonna give a funny let's say I'm stuck in a boat. I dream that I'm stuck in a boat and I'm having, no, at first I'm in a boat and I'm having fun and everybody's getting on these other little boats and I'm stuck in my boat with, you know, an ex or something. And I feel like a prisoner, you know? And then I wake up and I'm like, wow, that was horrible. You know, I was stuck in a boat with him and whatever. And then I think, well, who is that person for me? It was a very controlling kind of prison guard kind of person. And I realized, you know, it's not even about him. It's like, what do I feel is holding me back? So you have to detach from the fact of who is in your dream first, because then you can view it as it's them. But the dream is multidimensional. So first, interpret it like your unique eye without labels. Break everything down to a description. And then you can interpret it like with that person and who that person, you know, there's so many ways to interpret dreams. And I suggest dream groups. Join one. And I don't mean like this kind of dream. I mean a dream circle of interpretations, which I actually want to start with my husband, who is becoming an avid dreamer, and he just can't wait to work on all these dreams he's been having. So he told me, why don't you do dream circles? And I would love to. I used to belong to some in California just for interpretation of my dreams, and it was just amazing. Sometimes we would draw them. It was really cool. Bulletin says, I keep dreaming of bodies of water and trying to escape them. Someone told me I'm afraid of feeling my real feelings. I mean, you can take what they say, but don't take it like a fact. Sorry. Don't take it like an ultimate fact. Sometimes you need to incubate dreams. So, for example, if I were you, I would make a note of this in... Oh, it was a psychic. Even psychics Because that psychic must have told you something in another universe, and then right now you're in a whole new universe, so it doesn't even serve you anymore. So what I would do is I would write that down in your journal, write that dream down, and then right below it I would write. Hold on, I'm going to turn off the AC. Right below that, I would write my intention, which is to have a follow-up dream that would explain that dream. And I would start incubating dreams. So before I go to sleep, I meditate on that dream and unraveling what the meaning is. And and that's the fun part, because then you start having intentional dreams. Where you actually told your soul or your dreamer, hey, I'm trying to work on something, help me. And the dreamer is more than happy to help you, so watch out for that dream that follows up. I take everything to my dream. I take it all. Like, for me, it's like the best, most amazing insights I can have. And then in your waking reality, don't just leave it in the dream. When you wake up after your intention is made, and maybe you didn't have the dream, maybe you did, it doesn't matter. In your waking reality, start looking for those answers outside too. Because your dream is just trying to tell you something from your waking reality. Your dream is just trying to make you reach a state of well-being. It's trying to take you to your authentic self. If you listen to it not judgmentally, through your personality 100%, you know. Yeah, of course you got to be you, but you got to be a little bit detached about who you are. Jamie says, you had an intense dream that made you stop dreaming. I had a dream where a white light was trying to pull me out of my body. You have to give your intention. Like, if you want things to shift a little more smoothly, then ask for that. There's nothing wrong with asking for a smooth, easier process. But if your perceptions are very closed up, then you know you got to practice opening, getting excited about it. Oh, Jamie says, ask for help and kind hearts covered my heart and it stopped. Oh, that's great. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for protection. Don't be afraid to ask for soothing energy or light. You know, we can ask for so many things, but guess what asking means? Asking means receiving. And not everybody is open to receiving. Practice receiving, you know? Practice being okay with receiving. Receiving kindness, receiving help, receiving light, receiving positivity, receiving encouragement, receiving abundance, receiving compliments, receiving smiles, receiving anything. Like, you just get comfortable with receiving, because if you're not comfortable with receiving, then, you know, you're closing the door to this experience that Jamie had, where kind hands covered his or her heart. Bolton says, I've asked people in a lucid dream to help me solve a problem, but nothing happened. In a lucid dream? Well, maybe see, if our dreams are in tune with what our waking reality experiences are, so if maybe you need to practice receiving receiving help in your waking reality, and then it'll ripple into your dream. Practice also maybe asking for help in your waking reality. A lot of people don't like to ask for help, but it's okay to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing like a good help from a stranger or a friend or a coworker, or if you're open to the interaction of the energy around you and the universe, or whatever you want to call it, then you're going to get the right person that's going to help you at the right time. But that's like creating a new belief that you will be helped. You know, if you make an affirmation right now that from now on you're going to receive guidance, and that from now on you're going to be open to receiving guidance, then see what happens after that. Can't get to the right level of consciousness. What's wrong, Bulletin, not that it's wrong, but what I see is that you're trying to get somewhere, and probably somewhere of something you've heard about. You know, what is this higher consciousness stuff that she's talking about, you know? You have to start from where you are. And that's where you have to start, from where you are. If you think about where you are here and now, you have to love where you are. Love it. Love your process. Even if you think it's slow or, but that's comparison. Love your process. Love where you are here and now, and love that desire that you have to explore, Start loving that, and then open your mind to the possibility of, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to open your mind to the possibility of. And reinforce that by writing it down, making little notes for yourself. Affirmations. I love affirmations. They're great. I'll bombard my whole computer with affirmations. It just helps me process. But start with affirmations like, I am now being naturally guided towards my authentic self, or my authentic purpose is now being fulfilled, because this is starting here. This is where you're starting. Yes, all these universes will bridge, but first you need to understand where you are here and now. Knowing. So what is knowing? When I say the word knowing, what comes to mind? Suri says being able to do. Thomas says an unshakable trust in yourself. Ooh, I like that word, unshakable. Susa says experiencing energy and trusting what is true. Yeah, trust. I think that's the big word there. Knowing is trusting that you, hold the knowledge, or that it's in you. For me, knowing is definitely, it's a trust in that it's in me, that even if I don't see it, I'm trusting, and this is all about trust. Thank you, whoever said, Thomas and Jamie Souza for saying the word trust, because that is probably like a big word that can open many doors, because you are trusting. That's where belief starts coming in. First you trust, and then the belief starts forming. That's awesome. Susan says, believing in yourself, on your power as an infinite energetic being. Knowing is trusting that it's in you. Trusting yourself. Trusting that, this is how I trust, that the energy around me as an intelligent being is communicating with me. I trust that, and the belief develops from that. It's everything. The trust starts developing, the belief starts rolling, and then magic starts happening, and synchronicity is like boom, left and right. And I love waking up, and the first thing I do is not work because it's fun. I play with my dreams. I look into my waking reality to see how the dream has seeped into my waking reality, because it's just a continuation. It's simultaneous. The dream never ends. The dream never ends. I do appreciate the whole male and female merging and bridging, but the main thing that I take from that is that we no longer need to process so much through thinking. Although it does help to tune in a little bit, but this is me, it doesn't have to be your journey. My new belief that I am creating, or not even creating, it's just something that's happening naturally right now, is that I don't need to think too much like a philosophy thing when I'm trying to unravel something within myself. I just need to tune in, and almost like through emotions, it's like I have a direct connection with my outside and inside. And a lot of people go through a lot of mind processes, and it's it's good if it helps you get there. That's fine, but practice also just knowing that you have a direct connect. Mavi says, if the dream never ends, why is it so hard to know when you're dreaming when you're asleep? It's just like it's hard for people to know that they're dreaming right now. The more conscious, everything comes, we've been talking about the waking reality, this dimension, here and now. Mastering that first. The more conscious you become in your waking reality of the energy, the intelligent energy around you, the more your dreams are also going to start being bold like that. So Thomas says we're constantly dreaming reality into being. I love that. Yeah. It's all about becoming conscious of who you are, of what your perception is. I was asking everybody earlier, what do they think of multidimensional when they hear that word, or what did they think of knowing? And everybody says a different thing, or some people say similar things, but it's still different. So what is this whole thing is your unique journey, your unique path, your unique I. This is where you are, and it doesn't have to be where he is or she is, or whoever's floating and levitating. Don't compare yourself. This is where you are, is where you're supposed to be, and from there, with that acceptance, I love and accept where I am here and now, is how you can transcend. So the key, the big elephant key, is here and now, and loving and accepting it as it is. Jamie says, can we get stuck in an alternate reality? No. That question tells you that your soul is stupid, and it's not. It's your soul is a supreme intelligence, and it's not going to do something like get stuck somewhere. And if it does go somewhere, it already planned to do so, or it made a contract or some divine thing. Always trust in the intelligence of your soul, in the intelligence of whoever is running your ship. Like, if you can't trust your captain, then you got to know that your inner dreamer, your authentic self, your soul is guiding you to where you're supposed to be. So how about developing that belief, that you know where you're going, you trust your process. The belief that's getting stronger and stronger and stronger is hi. I think this supports multiple cameras, so it's optional. People can turn on their cams. So every day is a new universe. So every day is a new universe. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that every day, every second, every minute, you can shift. It is a choice. It first starts with a choice. You can call it a mental choice or an emotional desire to shift, and you will. But you gotta be like not like, oh my god, I want to see that now, like forcing it. It's gotta be easy and flowing, and you gotta detach a little and start narrating what's around you. Start dissolving the labels, describing it from your personal perspective, the story around you, because first you become the storyteller, and then you become the creator. It's like, first you're the observer, then the storyteller, and then suddenly there's this point of creation where you're like co-creating with everything around you. So hey Jamie. Creation, the point of creation, to create. What is creation? Like, whoa, what a concept. We'll start with creating. Where do you start creating? Start creating by setting your intentions for everything, setting your intentions towards your highest daydream of yourself. When you're Superwoman, or in whatever you're doing, or Superman, in your biggest dream now, how do you tune that into your waking reality? How? There are many channels towards it. Dreams is just one of them. Your intention is another one. But the most important thing is that you begin to explore your I. You begin to explore, because maybe that dream, was kind of like an escape thing or a fantasy. But then when you actually achieve it, then you're like, wait a second, this wasn't what I thought it would be. And guess what? You won't get to that point unless you do it. And if it's not what you thought it would be, then that's a big, like, you missed out on actually figuring out what it is, what really was the thing that you wanted, because you're so stuck in thinking that that thing is it. That's your biggest daydream until you do it. And then you're like, oh, well, I did it, and it's not what I thought it would be. And now I don't know if that wasn't my purpose. Hi, Veronica. I didn't even No, you were there. Look at you, all disguised. So everything that you daydream about and imagine, you have to kind of try and discover it, because you'll be stuck in the illusion that that was it. And then you guess what you're missing out on? Discovering who you really are. What is that was just one layer of that was one little stepping stone. And then the next one will appear, and the next one, and the next one. And all these things that you're not start to fall apart until you get to your authentic self. So when I say authentic self, what are you thinking? What comes to your mind when you hear the word authentic self? Jamie says, highest good, most joy, grace, ease. Yeah, of course. Authentic self, ease. This is what I was talking about. It shouldn't be hard. At least the first small step, because it doesn't have, you don't have to leap over towards it, well, maybe it takes a little phone call to find out, oh, I always dreamt about acting. Well, I'm not going to go to Hollywood and all that. Well, guess what? It starts with a little phone call to a little acting class. What's your schedule? How much is the class? That wasn't so hard. That was easy. You just had to make a little phone call. You didn't have to go fly to Hollywood and try to find a director, You start easy. You start with the smallest things, that you can do when you have taken down all the false faces and act in your true essence. Yeah, but you won't know exactly. But you won't know until you start seeing what is the false face, this whole Dream Pioneers thing was my biggest fear in the whole planet. And when I did it, I finally realized, yeah, it is like a doorway towards something, but it wasn't it, like the big, picture I thought it was, But it's a wonderful portal, and it's opening me up to my next stepping stone, and I think it's bringing people together and bringing a lot of dreamers together with the intention of what we're doing here, the authentic self and everything, is a portal on its own. So be aware of that. So the dimensional shift is looking for you. Remember that. And do your part in your own life to dissolve whatever you've packaged, or you think that everybody thinks the same way about it than you. That's a bunch of BS. They don't. You're the only one that can see things the way you do. And slowly all these old systems will dissolve. They'll be history. Because I don't believe in linear time. For me, time is non-linear. So if I ever went through a hard time in my life, I will go back in a meditation, and I will give myself a hug, advice, because I believe that talking to my past will affect my future, will affect my present. So I've had a lot of what people would think horrible, traumatizing things happen in the past, but I can laugh and not even be affected. Why? Because I have dealt with going back there and treating myself well, giving myself love and kindness. And I don't even feel like it was in this universe anymore. Like I'm in a whole different time zone. And I feel like that helped me, because I totally connected with my past. And I told her what's up. And I told her she's going to, rock and kick ass in the future or whatever. You give yourself a little balls. So excuse my grammar. But you give yourself self-love. A lot of love, a lot of a boost. A lot of kindness and healing, and you send yourself healing, and your body heals along with it. If I have pain, if I'm having my knee pain or something, I'll send it love, I'll send it healing, I'll understand something. Maybe there's something I can't stand lately. I look at it symbolically. What can I stand? And any pain that we have physically is also something in the astral happening. So it's so many things. It's so many things. But you need to first be whole here, because what kind of a vessel are you going to be if you're not going to be in your highest self in the present moment, here and now? You need to represent, with all your other selves, even if you're parallel selves. You need to be the best that you can be in your authenticity, even if it means, I don't know, the best. Don't think about corporate or general terms. Think about you. What do you think? Not with guilt or expectations, but like when nobody is watching and you're in your true nature, what you would think is best. Because some people think best and they think, oh my god, that means I have to be like, you know, I don't know, but it just means in what you believe the word best means. So, well, I'm here. What do you think the word best means? So when you hear the word best, what comes to your mind? Perseverance. The word that comes to my mind when I hear best is no excuses. And, you know, the more people that connect, this is not for me, this is for you. And to be reminded, if you can remind yourself on a daily basis, your journey, and get excited about it every morning, get excited about it every evening, start creating beliefs that your reality is talking to you, that your dimensional shift is stalking you, you know, and you just have to turn around and take a look. Colors and light. Well, you know, I have not used colors in life to help me shift, but I'm going to try it because I try everything. But whatever works for you, and you know it works for you. But and you can try what other people works for other people, but ultimately, what works for you? Like, have you ever tried to, if you know that you have the answer, because everybody does. I did hypnotherapy, and when I would take people into a meditative state, they had all their answers. It's like, why do they, you know, they just needed me to count them down into a relaxed state, and then suddenly they had the answers. You know, you have the answers inside yourself. You are the key. You are the missing ingredient to this dimensional shift. You are the portal. You are the door. So start thinking like that. Start feeling important. The importance of who you are. You know, you're a magical being. I have regained courage to allow lucid dreaming to commence. Yes, your soul is so wise. It's so intelligent. But you have to believe that. You know, otherwise you misalign. So guess what? You're dreaming all these wonderful things here, but this is your mind saying, this is the dream intelligence with all its energy and lucid, and this is you saying, no, I don't think it's possible. So, but guess what? When you suddenly start believing, it's like, you know, so those are my special effects. But align yourself to your dreams. Align first by perception, by intention. Doesn't just have to be by doing stuff. Yeah, sure, do, you know, small things like make a call towards these things, or ask or Google. You know, you can make anything your oracle. You know, some people, you know, YouTube is my oracle. I go on YouTube and it's like boom, instantly whatever I was thinking about, I needed insight on, it's there. There's a friend of mine that had a crackhead, somebody from Dream Pioneers in California. There was in 16th and Mission, every morning before going to work, there was a crackhead in the corner that would say exactly what she needed to hear every morning. Some homeless crackhead. You know, you don't know where your oracle is. It could be anywhere. B says, what happens when people have bad dreams? Does that mean they aren't as well? No, bad dreams, they're not bad. Nightmares have a diamond in them. Nightmares are only trying to, because that means you're not listening. That means the nightmare is like, oh my God, you're not going to listen to me? Like, the message behind the nightmare needs to give you a really scary situation so that you know, snap into it, snap out of it. And it has to make an impression on you. So I would say really, really try to see how to interpret your nightmares. You know, whether it's buying a book on interpreting your dreams, or I'm going to start making videos about this, because interpreting your dreams is so important. And very few people know how, because it's symbolic. It's the language of your soul. It's the language without words. Or it uses words, but it's mainly without words. It's so symbolic. It's you know, I'll give you an example of a symbolic dream. I had a back pain and a lower back pain, and I dreamt that that I had what do you call the little hard drives, those flash hard drives, attached to that part of my back that hurt. And I woke up and I was like, how do I interpret that? You know, and then I was like, well, what is a flash drive to me? It's memory. You know, it's a downloaded, stored memory or experience, you know? And then I realized, oh my God, I'm holding my fear or some like bad experience in my back. And I started really getting into meditation and seeing what it could be. But that was, you see how symbolic that was? That was so symbolic. But yeah, soul retrieval, if you're not ready for it and experienced, I would suggest you just do that recapitulation of your past. You know, go to your past and nurture it and convince it that everything is okay now and that you're going to do your highest to follow your dreams. Because this is one life so far that I can see, you know, yeah, we have all these multi-dimensional things, but what about the one you're in here? Like, why are you here conscious in this one, you know? It must be like the video games where you're stuck in a level, right? Until you fight the big kahuna at the end and all that stuff. But you need to master this. Master this. I don't like calling things levels, but master this level. Master this dimension. Master your waking reality. Master yourself. And then your authentic self will be there. Yeah, all your dimensions will be there. They're already waiting for you. They're already interacting with you in the astral and dream. Tune into your highest intentions, to your highest awareness. Making friends with my ego. Yeah. Wait, B says people say to let go of hurt, anger in Buddhism, but it's harder or silly to suppress it. Right. Anger. It's true. You should not think about, like, when you're angry, you need to be careful. You know, it is an energy, but at the same time, do something productive with it. Like, write a song or go to kickboxing, you know, get in shape while you're at it. I don't know. Like, it just needs a release. It needs a release. It needs a creative release. And, you know, you won't be angry once you're kicking ass in life. Not talking about violence, but, like, once you're doing something that makes you happy. You won't have to be angry, you know. You probably anger is such a, it's just, remember, it's all energy. Hurt is energy, pain is energy. It is all an energy, and it can shift. It doesn't have to be like such a thing, you know. Jamie says, making friends with my ego. Let go of my ego. Exactly. Let go of my ego. Yeah, totally. Let go of my ego. You know, your ego has to work for you. It has to be like in the back seat, being very, you need to whip your darkness and your all those things into place. You are the captain of that ship, light and dark. You are the boss. And it doesn't own you then that way. When you accept it, yes, I am dark. Yes, I am light. But I'm not going to let that control me. Because I am also a detached observer of my reality, and I am in control, and my soul is this like super wise, powerful thing. Yeah, no, dreams are like a big flashing indicator of what you haven't looked at or what you need to look at or anything, you know. It's but if you don't dream in the nighttime, your daytime is just as good. You just have to know how to interpret your waking reality symbolically as a dream. It's the same concept, you know. And then you will transcend that solid like illusion, and then magic starts happening. And you know, it's okay to start, you might feel a little uneasy if you start shifting too quickly, you know, but at the same time, it depends how adventurous are you. Maybe you need to practice being more adventurous, feeling more easygoing, you know, feeling relaxed, trusting that you that your soul or your dreamer is taking care of you, and that you're actually going at the pace that you're supposed to. Trusting that. You know, your personality might be a little limited, but personality can be transcended. Your personality can, how about not transcended? Your personality can be broad and, you know, like broad and more vast. You can have a more vast you can add more to your personality, because a lot of people are always like, get rid of this, get rid of that, you know, get rid of the ego, and no, you don't really have to get rid of so much. You just have to add more of the good stuff, of the powerful stuff, so that you can then transcend it, you know. Powerful. What do you think when you hear the word power? What does the word power make you think or feel? Jamie says momentum, awareness. Wow. See, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have thought that. The ability to chime in. Yeah, your voice, isn't that powerful? When you can, when your eyes start seeping out into the universe, you're so quiet in your bubble, you know, of your thoughts, of what you think of who you are. You know, maybe inside you think you're this superhuman, but you're not saying it. You're not like doing it. You're not telling people, you know, your ideas, or you're not describing things the way you're important. You have to remember this. You're so important to your own dimensional shifts and the bridging of your own dimensions. You are the number one person here. So you got to give yourself a lot of importance. You know, how important are you? And that's powerful. And power for me is a duality. You know, it's so many things. It can be going to the dark. It can go to the light. It can be some other cosmic thing that doesn't even go with dark and light. So, but mainly for me, power means it's a feeling. It's a feeling that happens when you give yourself importance, when you know you deserve to do something that you have dreamt about. So, a B says, I like that add power, aka alchemy. I've tried it before. Need to break. Yeah, alchemy. I love that word, alchemy. So yummy. Yeah, alchemy, you know, it's such a symbolic word. You know, I think it just wakes something up in people. Jamie says, alignment with our unseen helpers. Ooh, I like that. Yummy. Yeah, alignment. Unseen. See, this is more trust that we're being helped. That's awesome. Yeah. Alignment. I love that word. Align. To align ourselves with our highest vision of ourselves. To align ourselves with the present moment first. Of course. First here, you know, as you are. As you are. I love and accept myself as I am here and now. And then, what is it that I dream about? Well, let me write my intentions. I see myself in my highest, you know, doing this or that or whatever it is that I want to do. And then I'm open to my dreams and my waking reality to give me signs on how to do this. And I'm open to help, and I'm open to receiving, and I'm open for it to be a little easier than I usually think things are, and that it will flow, you know. Let's see. Is it possible that other parts of me are keeping me from dreaming? No. Maybe there are parts that you've blocked, you know, or that your fears. But no, see, then you're not giving yourself enough power. Like, you got to know that if there are parts of you that are keeping you from dreaming, how about thinking that you're more powerful than that even? And then looking back at what could it be? What could those parts be? You know, where do you feel it in your body? Meditate on it. You know, what parts of you do you think could be holding you back? And whatever limitations those are, you know, start interacting with them. You got to break them down. You got to, if you don't look at them, then they get huge, like these big things these walls. So you got to start first. Yeah, look at the things that you think could be stopping you, and then always keeping in the center mind that your authentic self is with you. Like, you got a team, you know, that is gonna help you break that down. I practiced lucid dreaming, but once I saw another me, and he told me, why aren't you awake? I would be happy after I woke up if I was like, why aren't you awake? I'd be like, whoa. That means I'm not even awake when I think I'm awake. Wow, what other level of wakefulness can I achieve? You know, the cup has to be half full. Come on. It's always a good thing. My question is, why aren't you dreaming? In your waking life, you know? Dreaming to awake. You can choose so many things to awaken. Have fun with everything. The word is fun, light, and ease. Flowing, fun, light, and ease. You know that you have backup. You have like this team of your own parallel highest selves are with you. Because if you talk to your past, guess who's talking to you? Your future. So open up to that too. Like maybe there's a wise, amazing, fulfilled version of you that is sending you energy to go there. Like, come here, you know, and you're not listening. You're like, oh, scared, or I don't know, maybe I'll fail, and why try? Well, guess what? Why try? Because it's fun, and who cares if you fail? Whatever, it's all part of the fun. Like then you'll do something else. You know, I don't care. Don't think about that. Most people aren't awake. Yeah, that's true. But, you know, you got to just focus on you right now, because the more you wake up, the more you'll wake up people. So it's a ripple. Fun, light, your waking reality today, here and now. Before you go and tackle all these dimensions, you got to understand that this one is important, and open up to the fact that your other dimensions are also helping you and sending you messages, and that your purpose is stalking you. Your multidimensional shift is waiting for you. It's looking for you. And you just got to open your eyes and look around. You got to play with the energy, dream with the energy, believe in magic. It's not just me. It's like a net of minds that are uniting, and we're all tuning into some message at the same time. But guess what? This message is just a message. What is the truth behind the message is you, your journey, your authentic self. You are the key. You are the door. You know, all that stuff. You know, yeah, that must be what's resonating and rippling across the planets, across dimensions. I'm always dreaming. I'm always connected, and I know I have things to transcend, you know. I need to investigate, why are my knees hurting? You know, all of a sudden again, some old pain has come back, and I need to unravel this, and I'm looking at the signs. I'm sending my body love, I'm sending my past, you know, I do the whole thing, you know. It's like, because we're creators, we cause these things ourselves. Wow, look at that cat. I'm like totally at the cat. Meow, rock star. I have my guitar. It's hanging on the wall. Oh, there it is. Awesome. Yeah, some songs are a brewing. Yeah, we should have like a rock off. You know, once you click into that ease and that flow, then you're resting, because you're okay with yourself as you are here and now. And all these things, you know, yeah, you can tackle them in the morning. It's not even tackle. How about waking up and the first thought in your mind is, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be flowing, and I'm gonna have help, and I'm gonna be guided, and I trust my inner guidance. I trust my process. I trust that even if I'm feeling a difficult moment, that this is also a part of the process, and it's okay. I can handle it. The universe wouldn't give me something I can't handle, even if it feels tight and constricted. You know, it's okay. I'm just gonna open up a little more. I'm gonna love myself a little more. My heart is gonna just open up a little more, and I'm gonna transcend this. I'm actually going to love my pain, love this moment for what it is as a human experience. Thank you. Loved your insights. I love your perspective. Everybody has had such amazing perspectives. So thank you guys for coming, and have a wonderful evening. You know, light, fun, and know that you are looked out for, you're watched out for, and that you got such amazing inner guidance, such a amazingly wise, intelligent soul that is going to guide you. But you know, you got to wake up and listen. You got to wake up and look around and know that your point of view is important. You actually have a very important thing to say, to, you know, that's power. Power. Bye. Ciao. We have a Facebook, which is facebook.com/dreampioneers.group.